Pleasure. All right. Scary stuff, this financial world, but also Halloween and being scared. We've got Professor Leonard Jason with us, clinical community psychologist at DePaul University. Leonard, welcome to Evan and Deb.
Thank you. Glad to join you all.
How are you today?
Pretty good.
So now tell me, people being scared, and now it's Halloween and people expect to be scared, but there's certain people that really love being scared, right?
Absolutely. Some people, jump off a cliff and kind of skydive, free falling they call it, and then they just have the parachute come on right at the end. That's not for the faint of heart, certainly. But some people do those, lots of different things to get scared.
Yeah, it's amazing. And then other people, they do everything humanly possible to stay away from it.
That's right. There are some people that just do not like to either go to, these roller coasters or see horror movies. So there are some people that just don't like the feeling of being scared. So they'll avoid all those types of things that many of us go to.
Right. All right. Well, stay with us. I want to talk to you more about, Leonard, why some people like it and why some people just cannot stand it whatsoever. Talking to Leonard Jason from DePaul University. It's Evan and Deb, and you can find us at evananddeb.com, 1250 wins, WHNZ.
Foreman Dermatology is a full-service general and cosmetic dermatology practice. Over the years, thousands of adults and children have trusted board-certified Tampa dermatologist Dr. Seth Foreman. And Foreman Dermatology offers cutting-edge treatments for psoriasis, eczema, cancers, and other skin diseases. All treatments are customized, and all patients are treated by Dr. Foreman himself. Visit ForemanDerm.com or call 813-960-2400. Seniors, Foreman Dermatology loves you and is humbled at the honor to serve those that have built our great country. ForemanDerm.com. Offices in Carrollwood, Largo, and downtown Tampa.
Are you experiencing pain, burning, tingling, or numbness in your feet or hands? If so, it could be peripheral neuropathy, a nerve disorder. It is imperative nerve disorders are resolved as soon as possible to prevent permanent damage. Neuropathy centers provide non-surgical, drug-free solutions for those suffering from peripheral neuropathy. Neuropathy centers organize complimentary workshops with the doctors to explore the possibilities of relieving your symptoms. Seating is limited. Call today to make your reservations. 727-408-5222. neuropathy-center.com.
An atmosphere of classic Italian elegance with delicately prepared dishes make Donatello Restaurant a must-visit for anyone that enjoys fine dining. Homemade pasta, delicious veal dishes, the finest fresh local fish, great steaks, and filetto are all a part of the tradition, quality, and service that Donatello's has been serving Tampa Bay for over 25 years. Owners Guido and Gino Tiazzo believe in exceeding their guest expectations. Call for reservations 813-875-6660. Visit DonatelloRestaurant.com and join their mailing list at DonatelloNews@AOL.com. Located at 232 North Dale Mabry.
At CareMinders Home Care, we know life at home is the key to maintaining your independence. We offer a full range of services to meet your individual needs, including personal care or assistance with daily activities. Our registered nurse will prepare a customized care plan for you and visit you regularly to make sure your needs are being met. You have a choice in home care. Discover the CareMinders difference. Call us today at 727-330-7804 for a free assessment with our registered nurse. Again, that's 727-330-7804.
Ed Morse is gonna save you.
The Bay Area's top contender for big selection, savings, and discounts. It's Ed Morse. Find the vehicle you want for less at edmorse.com. Let's check out the highlights. Cadillac, Buick, GMC, Mazda, Toyota, Scion, Honda, Chevy, and Fiat. Family owned and operated for 65 years with over 1 million vehicles sold. And Ed Morse even saves you on service. Right now, buy 3 tires, get the 4th free. See it all and more at edmorse.com. See dealer for details.
Have you checked out Cheese Pizza in Clearwater? The first choice for fresh pizza. Enjoy their all-you-can-eat buffet daily, featuring pizza, pasta, barbecue chicken, soup, salads, and desserts. All for just $5.99. Seniors pay just $5.35, and the drink is free. Kids can enjoy video games, pool, ice hockey, and more. It's Cheese Pizza from 11 a.m. to 10 p.m., 7 days a week. Cheese Pizza, located at 2440 State Road 580, across from Countryside Mall.
Now back to Evan and Deb in the evening.
All right, it's Halloween, and we've got, we're wrapping up our show here Monday through Friday. You find Evan and Deb right here on 1250 Wins from 7 to 9 p.m. We're your live evening talk show and bringing you a lot of great information from all over the country, from health to fitness to finance. We're brought to you in part by Ed Morse Cadillac or Ed Morse Automotive, edmorse.com you could find them at, but you can also find them in North Tampa off of Fletcher Ave for Cadillac, in Brandon for Cadillac and Fiat, and over in Lakeland for Mazda, and GMC Buick over in Newport Richey. Great dealership. We've gotten our last 2 cars from them. It's edmorse.com. All right now we're talking about scary stuff and why people love to be scared. We've got Leonard Jason with us, clinical psychologist from DePaul University, director of the Center for Community Research, and actually author of a new book titled Principles of Social Change. So now tell me, what is it in people's makeup, Leonard, that some people like to be scared and some people can't handle it at all?
Well, individual differences, personality styles. Certainly I think what happens when you get scared is you get an adrenaline rush, and that sort of physiological sense is something that some people like, some people don't, and in some ways it's your cognitive sort of perceptions that you place over those physiological feelings. So in a sense, some people, when they kind of feel like that adrenaline rush, they say, boy, I don't want to feel this. It's really scary and it's unpleasant and maybe, kind of really something I don't want. Other people, they get that feeling. They feel more alive. They feel fresh. They feel, boy, this is really cool, and they want to feel it more. So, yeah, you get real differences as to how different experiences kind of have different people react differently.
And some people scare easier than others. I have a couple of kids. I mean, you could scare them at the drop of a hat, anything. And then I have another son. It really takes a lot of effort to scare him.
Real individual differences, absolutely. Their biology is different and their cognitions are different. They put their own interpretations on that feeling, and some of them, they put an interpretation on it and they say, boy, I don't like this. This is really not pleasant. And other people put that interpretation on the same feeling and say, this is exciting. So yes, they really are very different ways of interpreting those feelings we have when we get scared.
And, you look at horror movies. I mean, they've gotten much more and more, I wouldn't say realistic, but more gory with special effects and computer technology. And again, you have some people that just love it.
Yeah, I mean, and again, certainly, those scenes have changed, and they've actually gotten more shocking. And through the internet, even some pretty disgusting, distasteful things, like, for example, you see people's heads getting beheaded. I mean, that's not something that just about anybody really enjoys watching.
Right.
Video games, a lot of kids are watching video games that are filled with all types of shocking, aggressive images. And this is modeling things that are probably not good for kids. So, yeah, there's a lot more of it today than there has been in the past.
Are we becoming, as a society, much more desensitized to this and maybe a little bit more callous to people suffering?
It certainly could happen with some people when they feel they need to see even scarier movies or activities to generate that same arousal. So, yes, there's some people that could be becoming a little bit desensitized and increasing the ante and sort of seeing more of it. Certainly that could be.
Well, and let me ask you about the human psyche there. As, you like, let's say, Jaws. Okay, that was scary in some ways. Then you upped it to Halloween. And is that the way the human mind works? I mean, look at sex. You try. Some people, are happy with just, missionary position, and the next thing you know, they're not happy. They got to go to the next level and the next level, and the same thing with horror. So is that the way the human mind tends to work?
Well, just think about a roller coaster. I mean, certainly some people will get the same pleasure out of going on that roller coaster every time they go to that theme park. But there are certain individuals that sort of say, yeah, they want to try the next level, something that's a little bit quicker, faster, scarier. So, yes, I think both things happen. Some people can actually keep the same level of that exposure and that scariness, and that's good enough for them, and other people actually feel like they need more. So you really have these very individual differences that we're talking about.
And that's just it's just a crapshoot, I guess, in life, the type of person you're going to end up being, right? I mean, that's sort of in your own mental makeup.
Two things are happening. One is that physiological arousal, kind of cortisol that pumps through you. It's probably going to be different for different people. And then kind of how you cognitively perceive that. And, is it something pleasant? Is it something you need a little bit more of to get the same feeling? So certainly both are reacting. Both things are happening at the same time.
Well, now let's look at Hollywood and where it's gone with all these scary movies and, just unbelievable images. And take romance movies. We talk about this all the time. We have psychologists talk about it, that, these women are watching these romance movies and it's sort of giving them a false sense of what guys should be like. And so when you look at horror movies, are some of these people becoming dangerously desensitized? Remember that kid years and years ago that killed someone and said he watched the Kojak show and the TV show, and that made him, want to kill someone else or act that way? I mean, could we be changing the way society thinks and acts, or is Hollywood doing that?
Well, I think it's a real good point. You got to remember that kids are exposed to literally thousands of murders, hundreds of thousands of these aggressive types of scenes, not just on the movies, not just on TV, but through some of these games that they're playing with the Internet. And that type of computer game where you're actively involved in, and often, these types of, these video games focus sometimes on little girls and trying to hurt them. And again, is that a healthy thing for boys who often play these kind of video games to be doing something against girls? So yeah, I think we've got a lot of aggression, a lot of inappropriate sexuality, and some of those same kind of physiological arousal where you increase your heart rate and perspiration, because you're so involved in it and you got the energy going. It's some of that same types of stuff that happens when you go to the horror movie. So the question is, yes, are there things that are happening in our media that possibly are problematic for youth? I definitely would say yes.
It's interesting. You have Hollywood's a very liberal place. You see, typically you see them come out with liberal ideals. But then they come out with these types of movies that, like you said, don't treat women so well. You see a lot of women on the end of a lot more women seem to be on the end of a knife than men on the wrong end of the knife. And so you start to wonder, like, they want these women's rights, they want equality, but then what they come out in these movies really seem to depict a whole nother image of what they're thinking.
Yeah, I definitely think we have a grand experiment that's going on. Basically show tremendous amount of violence toward different people, give easy access to guns, and then sort of see what happens in society. And you see what happens. It's
right.
It's not good.
Well, and it's confusing. You got a guy like Jim Carrey that made Kick-Ass 2, and then after the movie comes out against handguns and against the movie, yet I don't think he gave back his money. So,
yeah.
So are there real dangers regarding children who are participating in Halloween?
I think Halloween might be a slightly different issue in a sense. Parents, particularly younger children, the parents accompany them. They can guard against some of the scarier images. They can also provide reassurance to a child who might not understand kind of what's going on as they're going trick-or-treating. But I think that really most children should enjoy this yearly opportunity to get tricks and get scared.
We're talking right now to Professor Leonard Jason. He's with DePaul University. New book coming out, Principles of Social Change. So, now let me ask you this, Leonard. When we look at what we should allow our children to watch, we have 4 children. We made a few mistakes with our first child, not always paying attention to those, and they were just starting to come out, the warning labels on CDs. We locked it down for the next 3. We're like, nope, sorry, it doesn't say 17. It says 17. You're not 17. End of story here. Do we need to take a much more active role as parents and shut it down and say, listen, it's NC-17. When you turn 17, buy your ticket and you can go to the movie?
So 2 things here. Certainly it's the quantity, how much you're being exposed to, as well as kind of the images. in terms of the images, I think parents need to be able to talk to their kids. I mean, some of the stuff that kids are watching is really scary or age inappropriate. The child doesn't understand what's going on. So a parent needs to be able to have a dialogue with the child and saying, how are you feeling when you're seeing this stuff? Oh, you see that commercial? That's not really in life. That's not what happens. So there's got to be that dialogue with the parent to protect the child's best interests. But just as important, we need to recognize that, when children are watching 6 or 7 hours a day of TV and other types of media, that's a problem. And children aren't supposed to be living a life in a darkened room looking at an electronic screen. That's not living it is about.
Yeah, there's that, and there is that bleeding over from fantasy to reality for some people, right? They can't always tell the difference.
Well, particularly youth who have had some difficulties relating with others, might have some aggressive issues themselves, and then they have exposure to this type of content on top of being able to get easy access to all types of kind of dangerous weapons. Put all that together, and you've got a stew that's very, very dangerous.
Yeah, I got to tell you, you know what? I prefer to shut a lot of it down. Just, I don't want to have the conversations of, do you know what you just watched? You know what? Let's just not watch it. I don't think you're ready for it. I don't think you can handle it. And I get so many parents that say to me, well, my kid's mature enough to see that. And then, of course, it's their kid that's 14-year-olds getting drunk. So it's sort of like, yeah, I don't think your kid was mature enough because he didn't understand that 21 and 14 are different ages.
So just remember, a lot of parents are very busy, often working, a lot of other responsibilities. So too many people just say, okay, well, it's their time that they get a chance to get a break, and it's their babysitter, and that's just not good. So certainly an hour or two is not a problem, but when children are watching, 6, 7, 8 hours of TV and other media a day, that's just not the way childhood was meant to be.
You're absolutely right. Professor Leonard Jason, I want to thank you for joining us from DePaul University. Check out his new book, Principles of Social Change. A pleasure talking to you.
Thank you.
Have a great Halloween. Everyone else out there, have a great Halloween, a great rest of your evening. And listen, remember, nothing scarier than waking up in the clink. So be careful out there driving. You don't want to wake up in the hospital either. So be, like I said, very careful out there tonight. A lot of people driving, a lot of people drinking. We'll see you guys on Monday again right here at 7 p.m. It's Evan and Deb, and find us at evananddeb.com. It's 1250 Wins, WHNZ. Have a great weekend ahead.
For the wicked, until we close our eyes for good.